Imfihlo ethile. Wazi ngaba uDokotela akunikeze imfihlo yasemanzini. Imfihlo yasemanzini izokwenza ukuthi uphile impilo lo oyibonela kwabanye abantu bayiphila ezingeni eliphezulu, ezingeni eliphakeme. Yenza izinto zenzeke. Uma uDokotela engakwenzela lokho. Sishayele ku 082 459 1816 noma ku 063 689 8922.
Siyabingelela ukungena Babu Dokotela bawesizwe babajabulile. Today we are delivering what is called English version. Any video that you see now can understand. Thank you.
Asma. Greetings everyone back home and warm welcome. We are coming to you live from studios of Babu Dokotela. This studio number 6.
Studio 1 in the
Studio 1 in the Thank you very much, Dokotela. Dokotela, today we'll be discussing something called a head for money. Not Umkele. Umkele is hollow.
It's something else.
It cannot contain money. So we need this thing.
This is called explain. Umkele is called a crown.
A crown is. Yeah. So it cannot pay a crown for money.
And yes.
Yeah. So Babu Dokotela,
I mean,
I want you to talk about Ipengula. What is this?
Wow, Ipengula is very important to us because see, we as Inyanga, we strongly believe that we must acquire people to live poverty, no matter what it costs, but they must still live poverty because we cannot tolerate people to be poor. Ipengula is whereby we use short men to ascertain wealth. We normally prefer to use dwarfs. Dwarfs are called Matindana or Tigolosha. Not Matindana or Tigolosha because Matindana is something different. Ipengula, when we ask a client to use Ipengula, we want you to get a paper and a pen. Small page like this, something small. Write your name and a surname and write your intention. What do you want to ascertain? What do you want to achieve? I don't want you to be like a child whereby I said, I want 1 billion, I want 1 trillion, I want to marry to Malema. No. Do not be fooled. Just write significant things. Like you are serious about trying to get a job. We are employed, but we are a graduate that we are not getting the job that you are relevant to your qualification. We have to write that. You are having difficulties with draft road accident fund. It's not paying you because the lawyers are playing hide and seek now. You need Ipengula for that. All you have to do, you write your name and your intention, and thereafter, intention is a request, and then you put this motive. It comes in great powder. You put it here, wrap it in paper, and then you must get me a new unused white cloth of fabric, and then you put this thing, and then you cover it, and then you sleep over. Put it under your pillow and for a period of 3 days. After 3 days is exhausted, take this contact, remove the white fabric, go to the river, not a dam, not a beach water, but a river. We need a river. From where you're going to get the river, it's up to you. When you have to go to the river, you must be in possession of coins, like 10 rand to 20 rand coins. When you go there, you're going to be distributing these coins as a seed and offering to the spirit of the Marines. And thereafter, you'll be tapping to their wealth and declaring what do you want from them. Once you finish, you take this paper, you put it slowly, gently put it in water and let it float. Don't throw it like that because it will be showing a disrespect to the adults in the water. Babu Dokotela, thank you. Okay, in case if you want to get Ipengula when you are in Johannesburg, you can call this number at 071 575 3435 072 242 6206. You'll be paying like 1,000 rand for it, but it is pretty small.
Very small.
Very small. It's 1,000 rand. Or if you are in Durban or around KZN, you can call Mbongeni Ngobo. His number is 061 538 2925. You is prepared to spend like 1,000 rand.
Thank you, Dokotela. There used to be something called Isikafulo back in the days before technology. And there's been a very strong debate whether it's still effective in the 21st century, because nowadays you just get the number and call the person rather than using a scaffold. Doctor, I want you to focus on its effectiveness in the 21st century. Is it still effective nowadays?
Scaffold 10 years ago it was okay, 20 years ago it was fine. Today it is hypersonic. It is hypersonic. It is too good to be ignored, because when we talk about scaffold, it's whereby we teach you how to make it potent, how to make it strong. If you want to send a scaffold with a lightning stroke, you must be naked.
Yeah.
But you must be naked. And when you send it 3 times at night. But there are numbers that you have to consider when you are doing the scaffold. You can't send the scaffold at 6, at 8. You must send it at 9, at 11. The numbers are very important. Odd numbers are preferred. Odd numbers are preferred. And when you send the scaffold at 9 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, then it's way to penetrate, because you're using those iconic numbers. I do is a couple of 5,000 rand, but you got to be serious, because when we send this thing, this person will be here next day, but we're just testing you. We're not serious. You've got to be serious. You can't spend 5,000 rand and still you're not serious. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. There is something called calabash for money.
It's a good.
What is this calabash for money?
The calabash. A calabash, we prepared isigubu for you, or a calabash. That is so small. It is small. It's just 20,000 rand. We prepare isigubu. That calabash is just for money, for people who want to tap into powers of money. They want to ascertain wealth like you cannot control it. But it's not for business people. It's for people who don't have business. It's for people who are working. It's for people who are suffering. Who says, Babu, Dokotela, I'll put some cash together. I can rather sell something so that I can come to you. I still insist. Sell whatever. You can sell your laptop, what. Accumulate the 20,000 and come to me, and I'll give you the calabash. Once you get the calabash, you must take 10 rand, burn it and feed it on top, and decree and command, what do you want? And the money will be there. It's only a calabash that attracts money in your realm. But
Yes, Doctor. When it comes to Ibelesi Yamal, Doctor, what are the financial benefits of using Ibelesi Yamal?
Ibelesi Yamal, it comes to you reddish color. It is an oil, actually. It is an oil. It costs you 2,800 that oil. Ibelesi Yamal is for people who says, Babu Dokotela, I don't want isitwalo. I've got children. I'm a born again, and in these things that you do, I don't like it, but I just need money. I need to clear some debts. Can Ibelesi Yamal help me? Can Ibelesi help me? There's someone who's a non-believer, but just that he's struggling like seriously. You want to get Ibelesi Yamal, it's 2,800, and then we're giving you in-depth instruction on the coming videos. But when you want to see money flowing, when oiled, coming to you, change your attitude, change your mentality. The way you think, we have to change it. Your attitude is what keeps you poor, because you treat everything as a scam. You remember that scam that they were talking about, the scam of getting Mercedes Benz, getting cheap, what was scam? Was a scam or what?
That was a real, in fact, it is a real and a genuine business.
What do you mean genuine?
It's genuine.
It's not genuine. No, you just explain to us a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's working. It is making people get money every day. Because it works on a referral system. With that business, you just join. It's a club, in fact. They call it mycarclub.com. It's for people who want to own cars. You simply join the business for 2.6. You just introduce 3 people. You get paid commission. Not money that come from somewhere in the cloud, a certain person that you don't understand. They said something like a loan, company is giving loan. No, there's no such. You just get paid through commissions, because you are bringing people who wants to join the club.
How much will you get paid?
You get 1,000 for each person that you bring in the business.
Which means if I bring 5 people, I get 5,000.
You get even more than that because 3 people even have something called a faster bonus. A faster bonus is 2,000 rand that you get if you bring 3 people within 30 days.
Yes.
So you get 2,000 rand more from the 1,000 rand that you get per person. So it's something beautiful. But once you reach club 16, you get a basic salary of 6,000 rand. Club 120 is a Mercedes Benz, just like that. Boom.
You remember the gentleman that was his name is Mozi? Do you have his number?
Yeah, his number is 073 855 0327. People must call him anytime, any day.
People won't complain that he won't complain that we use his number without his consent.
No.
What is his number again?
073 855 0327.
Okay, let's go back to Impelesi. Impelesi, it's not for children because some people they just want to have money for shooting and then start to insult other people who don't have money. What Impelesi must be prepared to have 2,800 rand. You can call our sources. Just now we'll be having a branch in Mpumalanga as well. We'll be giving that number for Mpumalanga, whereby if in Mpumalanga our product will be sold. Wow, our product will be sold in Mpumalanga. Currently we're in Daveyton and Johannesburg. The number to call is 06111 538 2925. We'll speak to Mbongeni Nobo. And in Johannesburg, we'll speak to Mambosi. The number is 071 575 3435 072 242 62067.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, I want us to speak about animals. There's a belief that animals are innocent, but there's also a spirit of Azazel that possesses a certain animal. Is it true that God is possessed by the spirit of Azazel?
The horns, the nostril, the ears, it represents Azazel. There is no known mammal.
I think it's from the goats.
There is no known mammal that has that kind of a long-term nostril sharp and ears shaped like that. Others like this, but the goat is like that. And after the horns are different compared to any other mammal. A goat just represents the hierarchy of Azazel. If you want to tap to the powers of Azazel, you use a goat, but there is something that you need to remove from the goat that will align with Azazel completely. Otherwise, you'll be using a goat for something else. But Dokotela always says,
Thank you, But Dokotela, when you say Isitshwalo is the last thing to be considered by a man, what do you mean?
Isitshwalo is not for juvenile people. It's not for fainted-hearted people. It's for people who says, Babu Dokotela, I've tried everything, but the best I can do is to take Isitshwalo. Because Isitshwalo doesn't come cheap. But Isitshwalo is expensive, but we have to change your lifestyle as well. There are people who come to me not knowing that when they come for Isitshwalo, they must come with serious money. That is why we even able to sell your properties, sell your cars. Because you've got a scrap car that is parked there for too long. Sell it. Remove, clean your yard, sell those things. In your house, you got like 3 laptops. Don't use one, and don't even use any of those laptops. Take it and then recycle and get some cash. And now take Isitshwalo. I'm willing to do that for you, but you must be prepared to pay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dokotela. Before you say goodbye, Dokotela, you promised your viewers that you're going to talk about the heads for money or responsibility. Can you just, before you go, tell them about responsibility? The head that attracts money, the head that is used to attract money. We got what is called the head that attracts money. When we prepare that head for you, it is 20,000 rand, and then the second range it is 30,000 rand. But the different about that, the one for 30,000 rand, we will take a money 200 rand note, burn it into ash, and thereafter mix it with umshonga or muto sehlare, and then cut it over here, and then put mori in Chonga they call it mori, and put mori over here in Shangani they put mori, and then there is the head that attracts money for business people. It is 100,000. When you are coming for that, you must bring a goat.
definitely must bring a goat. And then you must buy 2 identical heads, not caps, heads. Get 2, tenga is 2.
Like the one of Babu.
Yes, but buy those by 2, because 1 we put something and 1 we putting something in, and we have to leave that at home. We don't have to wear those heads now and again. But because we have to do something in your head and then put the head and then remove it. When you remove it, it will stain with blood with water. And after we take 200 and put it on top of that and ask you to take it and put it somewhere safe at home. But they must be binded like that, like a binary head. They must remain in one place. And that is for business people, it is 100,000 rand. But for people who are infantry, when it comes to this, just 20,000 rand. Thank you very much. For anyone who want to get it, you can always call me, set up an appointment and come. Thank you.
That was Babu Dokotela, the lover of wisdom and the investor of life. Babu Dokotela, I smile.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to come back with this English version. Surely people who speak Venda will be able to understand it. People who speak Tsonga, they'll be able to understand it. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Uyabona abantu baphumelele bahlala kuma estate amakhulu bagibela amabhanoyi bathenga izimoto ezibizayo amathenda abuzwa kubo kodwa wena uncela isithuba uyasibuza benza ngani kunemfihlo ethile wazi kaba kudokotela akunikeze imfihlo yasemanzini imfihlo yasemanzini izokwenza ukuthi uphile impilo lo oyibonela kwabanye abantu bayiphila ezingeni eliphezulu ezingeni eliphakeme yenza izinto zenzeke kuba kudokotela engakwenzela lokho sishayele ku 082 459 1816 noma ku 063 689 8922. Uyazibuza abanye abantu benza ngani ufunde nabo usebenza nabo baphila impilo ephezulu impilo kubo ilula kuwena kulikhuni konke kunemfihlo ethile isithwalo senyonga manje khohla okunye ikhona inyonga yemali ibeke endlini yodwa ikwenzele izimali futhi le kababudokotela ayinabungozi siyatholakala eNedbank House eThekwini noma sishayele ku 082 459 1816 noma ku 076 55 58577 uma budokotela indlondlo kwezokwelapha
Sebingelele ubingelelo babudokotela bakwesizwe bakujabulile ufana uPleasure Khehle nomnumzo kaMancisi la namhlanje siyashutha senza ivideo yokuqala ngqa ukuthi wena uyibone English version sesebhilidini kuthiwa Nedbank House building. The physical address of business address is a corner of Queen Street and Albert Street. The GPS number 72 Dennis Halley Street. Thank you.
Welcome, viewers. It's a brand new day. What a wonderful day, Babu Dokotela.
It is a blessed day.
Blessed day from God. Thank you very much. We are chilling nicely with Babu Dokotela today. No refreshments.
No refreshment, lot of phones.
It's just us.
Let me correct you the fact about phones. Do you know how many phones I've got? I'm carrying 4 phones at all times. I've got 18 phones in total.
That means we have 18 SIM cards, 18 numbers.
Registered under my name. The call center alone has 4 phones.
Yeah, that is business. Dokotela, I want us today to discuss something very unique, a pond for wealth. I know it's going to be for the first time we discuss this subject.
Wow.
We've never spoken about this before. But before we get to that, Babu Dokotela, let's talk to men. Married or not, if you are in a relationship, what is the plastic, Babu Dokotela?
You are asking me about plastic while it's so cold. This is winter.
I'm not asking you for the blankets.
Plastic, let me answer the question clearly. And then plastic, it is made for adult married men. It is made for adult married men, someone who wears this or someone who has this in his wardrobe. It's for someone who's got erectile deficiency syndrome, whereby if you are going for play with your wife, especially as you are a married man, and then you're not strong anymore, you may be diabetic related, or maybe you're going under stress or anxiety, you need a booster, or maybe you've tried most of the enhancements, the sexual drugs that are no longer helping you. That is whereby we apply what is called plastic for men for 500 rand.
Only 500 rand.
You pay 500 rand and then we entertain you.
Hot moments are back.
Good ones.
Let me put a disclaimer on this one, Dokotela. It's strictly for ladies.
No,
This one. Yeah, ladies only. Dokotela, talk to ladies about iskafula.
Isikafula, it's been a commodity scam. That's number one. Anyone or everybody who just started a herbal practice, they claim that I've got isikafula. No. We cannot do that. Now, let me talk to someone who's currently in Sentin now, living in an expensive estate. Someone is in Mall of Africa, around there, living in those private expensive estate. But the boyfriend or so-called boyfriend has left. That person is devastated. That woman has everything, but you wonder why men are leaving her. That is whereby we apply what is called isikafula. In any estate wherever now we are trapped and then you're only watching your heater, not even TV, because you're tired of watching this TV, and then you're trying to warm up yourself with the heater. You're tired of this heater, you need a physical heater. You have to get isikafula to bring back that husband, to bring back that man, who have run away from you. Because not that we are just using isikafula for the stupidity. Most of the time, women are so in love and they invest so much to the so-called men, and they even help them financially at home. And now, once the man established himself, and then he start to have wings, and then he flies. And now we have to tell people, you take isikafula, how long does it take? Isikafula is intended to take like 1 day. Because of your miscarriage or abortions, or anything that is spiritual that is affecting you, isikafula may take up to 3 days. The maximum it must be 3 days. But when you are doing it perfectly, you've got to be naked. If you're using isikafula, it's very, very important to be naked.
During the day or at night?
Preferable at night when the subject is asleep. You must do it. And then the times, you must use only odd numbers, like at 9 p.m. or 11 or 1 or 3. Because at 8, at 10, the isikafula goes, but it becomes very dormant. Babu Dokotela says, if you want this isikafula, you must be prepared to come to Daveyton. I prefer that a person must come to me and must have 5,000 rand. Thank you.
I once went to your shop at Manchis Passage. I saw a product called Sugars. It's for ladies.
It's for ladies too.
When does the lady need it?
Number one, where's that herbal shop? We got in Daveyton, we got a street called West Street.
The busy street of Daveyton.
It's very busy. I'd rather use West Street, all names. West Street, yeah. It is number 3. It's number 357 West Street. When you put in 357 West Street, Eagle Building, there is a passage there, and then we've got a herbal shop there, whereby people, they go there. If you are looking for what is called entertainment in terms of women, a smart woman must have sugars. There's no way. If you want to trap that man, you demand that man to remain on your orbit as much as you want. You must have sugar. Sugars makes you being a demand to any man that you come across. But it is intended for adult people only, not people at varsities or at residential areas where students dwells. But we are targeting people who are married, people who are matured. They must take sugars. How much is sugars? It's 200 rand, which means it is dearly affordable. But it's only intended for women, but who is matured, who want to keep that man standing in front of her bedroom, not bathroom, bedroom. Babu Dokotela, thanks.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Dokotela, I would like to talk to a professional, but specifically the lawyers. Poverty has become very common with professionals. Even the lawyers today, they are suffering. What is happening?
We got poverty at law. And then when you come across an advocate, sometimes even meet a senior advocate. A senior advocate will be driving only 2 cars. How come an advocate driving Toyota Fortuner, an advocate driving a Toyota Fortuner 22 model, 2.4 diesel, that person cannot afford. There is no way that we're a senior advocate. You can't drive S-Class. We're a senior advocate. You can't drive Wrangler. Those are the kind of cars that we are expecting from you as a senior advocate. But now we are saying that your colleagues, in terms of Indians, they are just way ahead compared to us. They are just way ahead. And I'm afraid that when you notice that most of the buildings that are owned by law firms, either it is an Indian or white firm. We don't have from the Black Lawyer Society. We don't have firms. We only own offices, not a floor. Most of these Asian people or European people who are practicing law here in South Africa, they own floors if they cannot own a building. When you press a lift, 9th floor, it's just a law firm. That's all. And then the poverty that is within our legal practitioners in terms of Africans, it is spreading like cancer. We have to do something. But the problem where it lies, it's when they graduated. That is where they got attacked. Because the enemy attacked when you are most exposed. Because when you are graduating, you attract a lot of people closer to you. They take pictures directly. They don't copy your pictures. They take pictures directly when you are wearing a gown. What they do with this picture, normally what they do, they take it to any cemetery and they find a tree called umugano. And thereafter they'll take a nail. They'll bend a nail. When that nail is bent, they'll wait till it gets like rusted, and they take your picture and then use this nail and pin it right through your head to this tree, so-called umugano, and then leave it over there. You will struggle as much as the tree is still standing. You struggle as an attorney. You struggle as a professional academic. You just struggle because you accepted a lot of people to come and take pictures directly from you. That is why most of these people who are celebrating what they call graduating ceremony, they are very poor. They are very, very struggling. Babu Dokotela, thank you.
Babu Dokotela, I want us to give a difference or similarities, if there is any similarities, between a witch doctor and Inyanga. Is there any difference?
A witch doctor. Oh, Babu Dokotela now is a doctor. Or maybe he's a witch doctor. Okay, let us correct the spelling. Because of our ignorance, we are fighting. But we are fighting for no cause. When we are talking about a witch doctor, it is a doctor. Let me explain this so that you'll understand. Forget what we were doing last night. We couldn't do it without black stick. I told that get yourself black stick. A witch doctor, we are talking about a person that is regarded as a witch doctor because he is the one that is able to cure anyone who's been bewitched by a wizard.
Okay.
That doctor is called a witch doctor because anyone who's been bewitched in isiZulu or Tagatigwe, he can only be sent to a witch doctor. Let me correct the spelling. A witch doctor is whereby a person sees things, he hears things, and then sometimes he claims that he's going to the Sangoma, blah 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 blah. No, a witch doctor will spread the bones and able to identify whether you have to be initiated or you've been bewitched, and the witch doctor will be able to help that person. A witch doctor is not an insult. It's just that we don't understand that people who've been bewitched, they need someone who can able to de-wish that. That is a witch doctor. But Inyanga, it's someone else. Inyanga, we normally call Inyanga in English is a traditional health practitioner. A traditional health practitioner does most of the time, not all, most of the time does not spread the bones. Sometimes they use senses. A traditional health practitioner is someone most likely who's got acquired knowledge of traditional medicine. Let me correct the spelling. A traditional health practitioner is not like a witch doctor. A witch doctor is someone who just practices indigenously, has never studied anything. He knows no chemistry, he knows no physiological effect, he knows no biological effect. Like a traditional health practitioner knows when he takes what is called allium sativa, mixing it with Bacilla paniculata, what is going to be concocted, because he understands the chemistry of allium sativa, so-called garlic. He knows what is in garlic, what is going to happen to the patient, because garlic, it has what is called sulfur. Okay, if this person is suffering from this medical condition, but this person is also taking chronic crack, which means when I concoct my medication, I cannot use allium sativa because I'm an acquired traditional health practitioner. I have studied this, I have learned this. It's a person that was learned a little bit, but he understands the consequences of mixing wrong herbs when you're treating someone with got other medical condition, even though the patient is coming here for initiative. But because of this, the traditional practitioner will do a different kind of model of medicine to prepare for this person. He may take okra with allium sativa, with Bacilla paniculata, and able to cure someone who's got diabetic. But someone else cannot do that who is a witch doctor, because he's never been acquired to or exposed to that kind of knowledge of medicine. It comes to a witch doctor. A witch doctor cannot do what is called a blood count analysis, whereby a traditional health practitioner knows what is called ESR. ESR is whereby we as traditional health practitioners like Babu, Dokotela, we understand the rate of segmentation of your erythrocyte, so-called ions. We understand why your platelets are so low, which means you got so-called bleeding of the red cells, because we are traditional health practitioners. We are not witch doctors. Which doctor does not understand that. We know why you see A199, it is reading so high. It's because you got symptoms of rectum cancer. But a witch doctor does not understand that. We're able to do our own slide in terms of acid fast bacilli. Now I'm confusing now. Acid fast
bacilli. Getting deeper and deeper.
Acid fast, and I'm trying to break down so that to understand who is a witch doctor and who is a traditional health practitioner. Whereby we're able to do our own slide in terms of acid fast bacilli, we're able to read whether this patient has TB or not. This is bold, not big, bold, different. I am not a witch doctor.
You are
a traditional health practitioner. I understand why the person is suffering from what is called peripheral encephalopathy deficiency syndrome. Thank you.
Thank you, Babu Dokotela. Thank you.
No, say that.
Without understanding. But anyway, we are still going to Google some of the terms.
Okay.
give us a chance. They were a bit too much. Babu Dokotela, South Africa has got so many tribes.
Oh yes.
From Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Tswana, Vendas. But out of all these tribes, I want you to tell us which tribe has got real Izinyanga.
You're talking about South Africa. I'm worried about Africa. In Africa, we are speaking a language that has no tribal base. Swahili. We as Africans, we have to come clean. Why are we speaking that language? There is no tribe that speaks Swahili. But Africa, they speak Swahili. From where? From the slavery masters, Arabs. We have to be conscious about that.
Sure.
Izinyanga.
Sure, yes, Izinyanga. Which tribe has the real Izinyanga?
What I would say, especially in South Africa, if we Nyanga, we are not speaking isiZulu. There's nothing wrong. We are not a Nyanga. If we are Nyanga, you're speaking Afrikaans. How are you going to explain to me in Afrikaans how to do the palasa, also kaful? No. Because
Nyanga must speak isiZulu.
You must be able to speak isiZulu, because I have to be honest, when you're doing African traditional medicine, 80% you'll be studying Zulu medicine. You are obliged or mandated to be able to speak isiZulu. No umgano as umgano. No ihluze as ihluze. Don't say ituze. No, ihluze. Because if uyinyanga wasazi isiZulu, uyinyanga wasikhuluma isiZulu, inyanga ngempela umZulu. The original and most perfected inyanga is isiZulu man. Not ukuthi ingabeni ngamaZulu bese kuyaziwa lokho.
That was Babu
Babu
Dokotela.
Dokotela.
Inyanga must be
Umzulu.
must speak Zulu, must be Zulu.
Speak Zulu and Umzulu. Because 80% of those herbs, they are based in isiZulu. Even in Swaziland, they've got one or two Swazi herbs, but most are only sourced in Johannesburg or KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Babu Dokotela. Thank you very much. Hyperhuman engineering to identify your enemy. Babu Dokotela, what are you talking about now?
In military, they've got hypersonic missile.
All right.
We have to be enlightened about that. We have to innovate our medication as well, as we are traditional practitioners, not witchcraft, witch doctors. If we're applying what is called hyper engineering, we have to be intellectual, raise our IQ very high, whereby the client will come to me and say, Babu Dokotela, I've got this particular person, this person has messed up with my life. I need to know where he is or where she is. Inyanga must be able to give some time and then work on that subject and then lately tell you exactly that person is dead or alive, that person is doing this, is doing this, is doing this, is doing this, doing this. Through umoti. Through umoti. Thank you.
Thank you, Babu Dokotela. Dokotela, before you go, in closing, in other words, talk about the pond for wealth and say goodbye. I will not ask you any, I won't ask you any more questions. I think I've asked you enough now.
Yeah, to poverty.
Yeah. Pond for wealth.
The pond for wealth. Okay, number one, if the person wants to ascertain that wealth, says Babu Dokotela, I need to ascertain that wealth. I need to make a pond for my wealth. Who is qualifying to do that? It's anyone who's independently a person that who's got like a spare room or a spare a place where he can able to convert a room into an altar, because that room has to be completely converted into an altar. Number one, that room must not have a furniture. And then if your slab has already been prepared, all you have to do is to raise